Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cage's Coaster Reviews. And today for my 10th video, I'm going to be presenting to you guys my top 10 favorite roller coasters that I have ridden. And keep in mind that I've only ridden 71 roller coasters as of I'm making this video. And the coasters that are on the list are mainly from Cedar Point, Kings Island, and a couple Six Flags parks. And before I get into the video, if you haven't noticed, I changed the template to a darker color because it's easier on the eyes, not so bright, and I think it looks better. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. So let's get into the list. Number 10, we have the Boss. This is a wooden roller coaster manufactured by Custom Coasters International, 122 feet tall, 66.3 miles per hour, and I love this ride. Yes, it is very rough. It will leave you with a headache, but it's so much worth it. It's very intense. It feels like you're going so fast at 66 miles per hour. That's really fast for a wooden coaster. It's really super long at around 3 minutes, and it's a terrain coaster, and I love terrain coasters. This ride is just amazing. So next up, we got at number 9, Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast. Also, like the Boss, located at Six Flags St. Louis. This is a Premier Rides launch shuttle coaster. Sorry about that. It's 218 feet tall and reaches speeds up to 70 miles per hour on the first reverse launch. And I was very surprised by how much I enjoyed this ride. It's most people think the front row is the best, but I love the back row, as you can see on this picture right here. The back row gets the farthest up that vertical spike, and you get some very good hang time. Plus, the launch is amazing. The inverted top hat's pretty cool, and even though this is such a short ride, I still love it. Alright, coming in at number 8, we have Topical Trickster at Cedar Point. This is an Intamin strata coaster, 420 feet tall, making the second tallest roller coaster in the world, and 120 miles per hour, making it the third fastest roller coaster. And I waited 2 hours and 30 minutes to ride this. It broke down when we were the next ones to go on the train, but it was worth every minute. The launch is fantastic, very forceful. You feel like you're going so fast. I've never gone faster on anything else in my life. And my favorite part is when you get to the top and you don't really get that much. You get a little airtime. It felt like for me. I don't know. Maybe not. It's been a while since I've ridden this, but it felt like it had some airtime, and it's just awesome. You get a great view. And the drop, I'm not a big fan of that. It twists, but it's still pretty fun. Alright, number 7, we have the new addition to Kings Island, Mystic Timbers. And this ride was amazing. Coming in at 109 feet, 53 miles per hour. It's a GCI, so yes, it's going to be very smooth. Not too big of a fan of the drop, but I love the little ejector bunny hills. Gives like 15, 16 of those. And the shed was pretty cool too. I mean, they could have did better, but it was nothing. I could not see how people think it was a disappointment, because I mean, there's 3 different things that pop up and that come out of the shed, and like the music. It's very well themed coaster, and I love how it's so smooth. And this is just a fantastic ride. So coming in at number 6, we have one of 2 B&M Hypers on this list. This is Raging Bull, coming in at 202 feet, 73 miles per hour. This is one of the most hated B&M Hypers. No one really loved it. I do not know one coaster enthusiast. Actually, I know one, but most coaster enthusiasts do not like this. This is usually their least favorite B&M Hyper, and I find it to be one of the better ones. I mean, I've only ridden 2, but based on the POVs, This, like, no one really likes this because it's a hyper twister, but I love this. They think it's trimmed, but I mean it's trimmed a little bit, but not as much as Intimidator because that thing looks really trimmed. It's very, it feels like you're going really fast. I love the first drop, and this is just an amazing ride. Okay, coming in at number 5, we have Diamondback. This is this other B&M Hyper on the list. And this one's a little bit taller at 230 feet and a little bit faster at 80 miles per hour. And this one just barely got past Raging Bull. The drop isn't as good, even though you do get some airtime. The Raging Bull's drop isn't as steep. Like I do like, it does get some pretty good airtime, especially on that first hill. And it's a pretty long ride. I do love the splashdown at the end. I'd say second row is the best spot to ride. I was a little disappointed. I thought this would be a lot better than Raging Bull, but it only, in my opinion, it happened to be a little bit. But still, this is a very, really good ride. Second best at Kings Island, in my opinion. Coming in at number 4, we have my favorite ride at Kings Island, and this is the Beast. At a whopping 4 minutes and 10 seconds, this is the longest wooden roller coaster in the world. Not very tall, at 110 feet, and the drop is at a 45-degree angle, but most people would think that's not as good as other drops, but I kind of like it because it lasts longer, and especially the second drop on the second lift, as you see from the left side of this picture, it's probably like a, I don't know, 10-20 degree angle, but I like how you slowly gain speed, and the drop just seems to last a lot longer. Plus, I love, this is another terrain coaster like the Boss, and I love how it goes out in the woods. I love the helix at the end. It goes into that tunnel, and this is just an amazing ride. At number 3, we have my favorite wooden roller coaster, Haiti 360. And as you could tell from this list, I really like wooden roller coasters. I think I had 4 in my list. And this is the best one, in my opinion. This is manufactured by the Gravity Group. It is 136 feet tall, 60 miles per hour. And what I love about this ride is it's just so unique. It's got that underground tunnel, the length of the whole parking lot. It's got that awesome corkscrew. It's very intense. The underground tunnel is a huge headbanger. It will probably give you a headache, but it's so much fun, so intense, and I really love this roller coaster. Okay, number 2 is Goliath at Six Flags Great America, and a lot of people think this is a wooden roller coaster, but it's an RMC hybrid, but I would say it's a steel because you classify a roller coaster by the track, and it's steel track even though it's got a wood support, so I'm counting this as a steel. It's 165 feet tall, 72 miles per hour, and this is such a short ride, but every element of this thing is amazing. Like the first drop, one of the best drops on any roller coaster. It's got that overbank turn. It's got a couple airtime hills that are pretty good, and that dive loop's amazing. The 0G stall is probably the best element on a roller coaster that I've ever ridden, and I really love this ride. Back seat's the best. Nothing's better than a back row seat on Goliath. Alright, before we get into the number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. We have Raptor at Cedar Point, Gatekeeper at Cedar Point, Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point, and just so you know, I didn't ride Maverick yet, that's why it would be on this list for sure, but I didn't ride it yet. Hopefully next year. We have Banshee at Kings Island, Screaming Eagle at Six Flags St. Louis, American Eagle at Six Flags Great America, Manta at SeaWorld Orlando, and Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. And also, just so you know, I did not ride Mako. It did not come out yet when I went to SeaWorld, or else it would be on this list for sure. Just like Maverick. Alright, let's get into the number 1 pick, and that is Millennium Force at Cedar Point. and I was blown away by this thing. I'm pretty biased towards this ride because this is like the first roller coaster other than, well, my ones at my home park that I've heard of when I was really little, and I always wanted to ride this since I was about 7 years old, but it was amazing. This is 310 feet tall, 93 miles per hour, 6,500 feet of track. I mean, it's a long ride too, at about 2.5 minutes. It's so fast. A lot of people think this is forceless and one of the not as good as people think and very overrated. I find it to be underrated because everybody thinks it's so overrated. It's actually underrated. And I think it deserved to win those 15 golden ticket awards in a row. This thing is amazing. I love how it sits right next to Lake Erie, and you could actually see Canada at the top of the lift hill. But it's so fast. It's a long ride. It's got a lot of overbank turns. I really wish it could have, and I really wish that it would have been a couple overbank turns were a little unnecessary. I wish it had a couple, like maybe an underground tunnel after the first drop. That would have been cool. But I mean, this ride, I cannot really think of a roller coaster that was better than Millennium Force. Maybe Fury 325, maybe Intimidator 305, but this thing is amazing. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and so click right here, down here to watch my previous video, and click, it actually says lick up here, but it's supposed to say click up here, to subscribe to my channel. And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time on Cage's Coaster Reviews.